This is where I get frustrated.
Don't even open that can of worms.
Like horrifying.
Horrifying. Not allowed to cry or have emotions in your house.
Like, do you really need to know what Zemoglophical 8 is? Or
Oh, Jessica.
everyone has a favorite. Everyone does. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, Jess.
So today we are talking about the accessibility of porn and like the ease of accessibility. Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah.
It's really accessible.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Overly accessible.
Yeah. And like, for example, I just was like Googling 50 Shades of Grey, even though that's like, it's old now, but just to see like how easy it is to like find the book on here or whatever. And so, we're just going to read a little passage. And by we, I mean me. So buckle up because this could be awkward. All right.
I'm going to be so turned on after this.
Okay. He crawls up between my legs where he stops to rid me of my sodden panties. He slings it away carelessly, his ogling eyes never leaving the naked place they covered. He continues to stare, licking his lips, obviously beyond aroused by the sight, but there's nothing to hide my intimate folds. Gross. And I feel that's a gross.
I never read this book, so it's really uncomfortable.
Didn't?
No, I saw the movie, but it's like very uncomfortable to hear it in writing. Sorry,
and
go
I feel
ahead.
exposed, squirming and certain that my blush reaches all the way down. There. How gross is that? That's gross.
It is
sounding.
Gross.
Anyways.
And that's not even the worst.
No, that's not even the bad. That's like as worse as I can get to like read.
Yeah, it's just so uncomfortable. I'm sweating right now. I'm very uncomfortable.
A little bit, my armpits. All right, so let's start with some trend stats and facts as it relates to like kids.
Yeah.
And like where, I don't know, like just kids and porn.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
be ready to be scared.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a report from Common Sense Media. I've talked about them before. They're a nonprofit.
Yeah. Who is? Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a nonprofit that looks at media use in kids, all different kinds of media use. They do research on it. So this was a survey of over 1,300 teens, 13 to 17-year-olds, in the U.S. in 2022. 73% view online pornography. 41% have watched during the school day.
Oh, interesting.
31% have watched while at school in person on a school-owned device. Because the 41% includes kids that are like at home doing school. You know?
Oh, and so what's this one? What is this?
31% watch while in person at school on a school-owned device.
How the
I know.
Interesting.
54% first saw online porn when they were 13 or younger. 15% before 11 years old. The average age of first online porn use was 12.
Yeah.
52% have seen porn depicting what appears to be rape, choking, or someone in pain. Only 33% had seen porn in which someone asked for consent. Like, I was like, does that even exist in porn? I'm sorry, that's news to me.
May I enter you?
Gross. Let's see. 41% of kids agreed that watching porn makes people less respectful of the opposite sex. There was a study analyzing videos from Pornhub and X videos. Don't know what that is. But
what is it? X
videos?
Mac, have you heard of that? Have you?
Mac's like, yes, I watch it all the time.
Yeah. I wonder if you need a license.
97% of the targets of violence and or aggression are women.
Wait. Okay. Yeah.
Deepfake. Okay, this is something we could talk about later.
Deepfake
pornography. So it's like a real person's face, but it's like they computer generate porn on so
it's
not their actual body like doing whatever it's doing.
Oh wait, what? Wait.
So it could be like you posted a video of yourself on social media doing whatever, like talking in your workout clothes, and then someone takes your face and
puts it on someone else's body.
Yeah.
Or like makes up a body.
Computer generated. Yeah. And it's porn.
I hope I'm thin.
Deep fake pornography accounts for 96% of deep fake videos online. Let's see. 2010 article or study said that physical aggression in 88% of leading pornography scenes.
Wait, what is?
Physical aggression is in 88% of leading pornography scenes, and verbal aggression in 48%. Don't worry, I'm getting to the end. This is the last one.
No, you're fine. I just want to, you said 2010?
That was 2010. Yeah. Okay. And then there's a longitudinal study from 2011 following 10 to 15-year-olds over a period of 3 years found that exposure to violent pornography predicted a nearly 6-fold increase in self-reported sexually aggressive behavior later on.
Self-reported
sexually aggressive behavior.
Later on. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So we gave the ages. What about like gender?
It was actually
right word?
fairly equal.
Oh. Okay. What is it? What do you mean? Or like
so like the percent when they broke down the teens that do watch porn, it was fairly equal.
13
girls
to 17.
And boys. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But the reasons were different.
Oh, what do you mean?
So boys were more often watching for pleasure purposes, for their own pleasure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Girls were more often watching to figure out what boys want from sex.
Is that like a self-reported study, I guess?
Yeah.
13 to 17.
It's a survey, yeah.
I know.
know.
Wait, so what? I wonder, does it say like what questions were asked in this survey?
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at it.
Oh, I'm interested. I'm interested in that personally. I mean,
so go look it up,
professional.
y'all. Common Sense Media. This might actually be it. But yeah, Common Sense Media, they have like this huge, I mean, it's probably a 25-page report all about pornography in teens.
Cray.
Yeah.
All right, so types of porn exposure, you talked about like watching on school computers.
Yeah.
Or on another device at home. Or, I mean.
Vast majority, over like 95% was on a portable electronic device, obviously, right?
Yeah. So, like, what are the different types of porn exposure? Like, what does that mean?
What do you mean?
That fucking says types of porn exposure. Like, what does that mean? Types
I guess
of, is that like device? Or is that like platforms?
I don't know.
Types of porn exposure. I'm just going to Google it and see what they say. Types.
I mean, I can tell you like the most popular websites like Pornhub and YouPorn.
Here we go. Oh, interesting. So here are the types of porn exposure. Traditional, I guess this is like 1960 to whatever. Magazines, television, films. Online media. Pop-ups.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Pop-ups, which is pornography that can be accessed through pop-ups on websites.
Yeah.
Interesting. Spam emails. Pornography can be accessed. Okay. Mistiped addresses. Pornography can be accessed by mistyping a website address.
Yes.
Advertisements. Pornography can be accessed. Okay. Unsolicited message. I mean, listen up, Buttercup. I've gotten on, and these are probably like bots or whatever, but on Instagram, like I'll get weird, like big old titty, like girls.
I know.
And like they're calling me a dude or whatever. Like it's like a robot or whatever. But like you get unsolicited, like I don't know how that works.
All the time.
Like,
and then you have to think, okay, so about that, 44%, so this is from that Common Sense Media survey, 44% of teens saw porn unintentionally. 44% saw it intentionally, 58% accidentally.
How does it say?
Same thing. Like
these
pop-ups,
things.
accidentally typing the wrong website address.
Yeah. Or like typing in a word that, like I'm trying to think of like, I don't know, like if, like there's so many different like categories or whatever. And like if a kid is like typing up like step sister, I don't know, like I don't know, and like some porn shit could pop up on Google, right?
Or what if like a kid is Googling about sex because they're just like curious and have questions, and then like what do they end up getting? You know?
Yeah. So okay, so let's talk about like how prevalent it is online.
Extremely prevalent. Let's see. Online pornographic videos represent 27% of all online videos, 16% of total flow of data. And this was weird. And I was like, who the fuck calculated this and how do you calculate this? 5% of total greenhouse gas emissions due to digital technologies.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Wait, what? What is that? What?
5%. I mean, greenhouse gas emissions. You know what that is, right?
No.
Okay.
Greenhouse. Wait, can I guess?
Yes.
Greenhouse. So I think greenhouse, and I think of like a house with veggies in it. So
Okay,
that's not
yeah.
it. Greenhouse gas emissions. Greenhouse. I don't know. It's like pollution or something.
Yes,
Okay,
basically.
great.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay. Yes. It's like a measurement of pollution. Which I was like, wait, how do porn videos create pollution and how did someone calculate that? I'm confused. But
Maybe it's like the
damn,
making of the porn
I
video.
guess. Due to digital technologies. I have no idea. I don't know how someone calculated that. But 27% of all online videos are porn.
Okay. So I am on Netflix and I think I'm on like the kids profile and I just typed in 50. That's all I typed in. We have 365 days. It ends with us. Have you seen that? It ends with us.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Subservience, which is Megan Fox. She's like a robot. Through the Window. We have Sex Life. We have the After series. Dark Desire. I mean, like it's just like, I mean, y'all can see it if you're watching. It's a laundry list. And this is Netflix. And this is kids.
Right.
Like in the kids.
And like.
And this is porn. So 365, I mean, whatever. I've seen it. And it might as well be on like a porn website.
Yeah.
I mean, you see tit, vagina, peanut, like all the stuff. And like I think they had some like bondage shit in it too.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, it takes nothing for a kid to switch from a kid to a parent profile on Netflix.
Correct.
Literally nothing.
But I'm not even in a parent. I'm in the kids profile.
That's scary. Like, how does that even come up in a kid's profile?
It's just that algorithm. Like it says more to, like I just typed in 50 and it said 50 shades of the.
That's in the kids profile?
50 Shades of They. I don't know what that is. 50 Shades of Black, 50 Shades of Gray, 50 Shades Uncovered, 50 the series, 50 50 Cent, 50 Cent Real Money, 50
like
Dead Men Walking.
To me, I'm like, how does that even come up in a kid's profile? What the F?
I don't know.
That is so disturbing.
I know, it's bad. Let me see what Hulu does. Hold on.
Oh my God,
Now
that's so disturbing
I'm
to
on
me.
Rick. Sorry,
like,
Rick.
this is why I no longer have Netflix on my
50
TV.
Shades
Because
of...
it scares the shit out of me what kids can find on it. Like, you know?
Oh, shit. Well, okay. So I just did it on Hulu. What comes up? Twilight. It's fine. 50 Shades of Black. I don't know what that is. I guess it's another whatever. Let's see. This one doesn't seem as bad as what's it called? Netflix.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, Netflix is like, it seems as I was searching before, like they have a lot of like
pornish videos.
I mean, listen up. Like this is porn. Like I gotta like offline like show you this, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's porn. Like it's porn. Like what defines porn?
I know.
Yeah.
Great
question. Seriously,
what defines
porn? Let's see.
Right, because you can have a video, or you can have a movie that's like a quote unquote romance.
Okay, well now I just have like all of the
and just stick a bunch of porn scenes in it. I mean,
no, but like,
I guess like porn.
Like, what's the
official
definition
porn is
of
filmed
porn?
For the purpose of.
But what someone. I don't want to do it on my computer because it just like put up all the porn websites.
Google definition of porn.
Oh, you start with definition. That's probably good. I just put porn in mine.
Porn definition of first I have to spell it correctly. Pornography. Why is it telling me photography? No, I want to know the definition of pornography. Okay. Printed or visual material containing the explicit description or display of sexual organs or activity intended. Organs. Well, that's what you call your genitalia. Intended to stimulate erotic rather than aesthetic or emotional feelings. Okay.
Yeah, then like it's porn on the Netflix.
Right. Yeah, so they're really crossing that. They're blurring that line. That line is very blurred, Netflix, because they could say, oh, this is really just like a romance movie, right? Like it's not intended to stimulate erotic feelings.
You don't know.
I know, but I'm sure that that's how they defend,
I guess.
Right? Having it on there.
I guess. Okay, so the whole point of this little rant was to say it's just really easy and accessible for kids to like click.
Yeah.
And like not even type anything that has to be like that has related to do with like porn. Sexual.
Yeah. Or sexual at all.
50. Yeah. All right. Catholic schools don't address this because it's a sin. Like there's no sex ed in school.
I would say
Any
almost
school.
no adults talk about this with kids. Like,
No,
this
but there's
actually,
no sex ed.
Right. Well, and okay, so a lot of the articles that I read were talking about that exactly. Not necessarily specific to schools, but that like adults so rarely talk to kids about porn. Like, we're very ready to talk about the dangers of alcohol and drugs and drunk driving and
even
like all this
STDs,
kind of stuff.
I feel like. Yeah.
But like, no one really talks about porn, and part of the problem,
because it's taboo.
Well, and part of the problem is there still isn't a great understanding of like
effects.
Yeah.
Or like connections.
Yeah.
Between like rapists or I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there hasn't been enough time to really watch kids like over a long period of time, over a whole childhood and into adulthood, to see what is this doing when they're adults. There's not a lot of great data showing like what kids are watching, how they're watching it. I mean, Common Sense Media has some, but overall there's not a ton of data on that. So I think it's like a blind spot, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think like men not talk about it, but like with each other, like it's just like known, like dudes watch porn.
Right.
And like whatever. Like no one cares.
Right.
And like the ladies aren't gonna like be like, same. Which episode you want? You know, which website you go to? Like, you know, like that's just not. It's like taboo. It's not ladylike. Whatever.
Yeah.
And like also dudes aren't talking about like sex with the kid. I mean, I don't think they're talking about sex with the like. It always. I feel like it's like give him a book or like mom, you do it.
Yeah.
I guess maybe Mac, you gonna talk to your boy? Like you gonna talk to him? You gonna be the sex guy? Sex talk? I mean, I don't know. Rick will probably
for sure making my husband do it with the boys.
I mean, yeah,
100%.
But like, it's not like I mean, I'm gonna get shredded for this probably. I don't give a fuck. I would assume it's not coming from a place of like this is how you treat women.
No,
it's coming from a place of like
this is what the penis
don't
does.
Get someone pregnant. Don't like wrap it up.
Yeah.
Like don't get a fucking STD.
Right.
You get someone like be like safe.
Right.
And safe means in that respect like physical like,
protect your own body.
Ooh, bitch,
protect your own body.
Protect your own body.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
And then women unfortunately have to tell their daughters like don't let anyone do anything to you without your consent. What does consent mean? But like it should be the same conversation for both.
It should be the same conversation for both. And like porn, like dads and sons, I mean, I don't think they're like swapping stories about porn. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know that, like...
Except for those two politicians that were, or like the politician dad and the son or whatever.
Mac was talking about. Yeah. Anyway, so, like, it's not talked about. Or if it is talked about, it's porn itself isn't talked about.
Right.
And how, like, to treat... I guess it's like relationships. It's not like sex is talked about, but how to like treat people in relationships. Like isn't talked about.
Well, and I think part of the problem is like you think about it now. Most of the dads who have, you know, young kids, teenage kids, are watching porn themselves. Online,
oh well, yeah,
right. So it's like how do you teach a kid to not do that if you're doing it?
And how do you like? I mean, like if some category, like I don't know what to call it, genre category, whatever, like turns you on, like you're not going to go and talk to your kid about how it's not like good.
It's not okay.
Yeah, it's not okay.
Yeah,
because then you have to like look Edward and be like, why does that turn me on?
Yeah,
and no one wants to do that. You know, no one wants to be like, why does like choking a bitch, like turn me on?
Yeah,
like you know.
Well, and I think like a lot of parents probably don't realize it's one thing for you as an adult to watch that, right?
Yeah.
It's a totally different thing for a 12-year-old to watch it.
No, yeah. So it's okay. So, and we were talking about this earlier. Okay, like I think about like our mutual friends. I talked about them a while back. We were neighbors with like 4 boys, like all in one house. Okay, it was like age range from my age, like all the way up to like it was like 8th grade to senior, whatever. And so we'd be like in their house playing, and there were like posters of like the Baywatch babes, right? Or like string bikini, like big tip, whatever, like on the wall. Yeah. And I would be like, ew, you know, like ooh, booby, like whatever. But like that's what they were masturbating to. And like I mean, probably mags or whatever.
Yeah,
like
whatever
sports,
magazines they could get their hands on.
Yeah, correct. Like there wasn't, I mean, maybe there was online porn. There was like Cinemax and shit like that. But
kids didn't really have access to it.
It was easy. It wasn't
so accessible.
Yes.
Not at all.
Like
not even
all
close.
of the those like networks, Cinemax and whatever. I think you even had to pay for it.
You
back
did.
Then.
You had to pay
like
for
it was like pay-per-view.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah. And so kids had to use their imagination.
Yeah.
To get off.
Right.
And now you don't, I mean, this goes with like, kids don't have to use imagination for anything anymore. But with this, it's like these institutions or whatever, like porn people, whatever, are telling kids intentionally or unintentionally, or telling people intentionally or unintentionally, this is what is hot and sexy and what should turn you on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then you have like this, and like we've talked about this too, like developmentally, that like 11 to like 13 is that like incorrect
for girls.
To me.
Yeah.
And it's not boys too, like identity formation and like
for boys it's like a little bit later.
Oh, it's later.
But boys are seeing porn.
Yeah, so like 11 to 16.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
Like that chunk developmentally is like so use a word that I like a lot. It's called like
critical?
Pruning. Like the brain is still pruning.
Yeah.
And so like developmentally they're like figuring out who they are, where they are in the world, and like what turns them on, who are they attracted to is part of that.
What does a relationship look like?
What is
romance?
Yeah.
How are you supposed to treat someone from the opposite sex?
Correct.
How are they supposed to treat you?
Yeah, or same sex.
Or same.
But
yes.
like, yeah. And so like if they're just like, oh, beep-a-da-bop, like let me look and see what, and then it's like BDSM. What does that stand for? Bondage.
I have no
MAC.
idea.
What does it stand for?
I know SM.
He knows.
Sadismastic.
What is it? Yeah, you do. It's what's the D?
Oh, I don't know.
BD. Big dick energy. No. Big dick. I don't know. Anyways, whatever.
Dungeons?
But they run into that. And if that's the first thing they see,
yeah.
If that's the first like sexual image or clip that they see, and they see that the person that they relate to is getting off, and they're like, oh, I guess this is normal.
Yeah.
So this is what I should do.
Yeah. So part of it is like, okay, setting these unrealistic expectations about what sex is supposed to look like, what like physical intimacy is supposed to look like with another person.
Is unrealistic the right word? It's like dysfunctional.
Unrealistic.
But it's unrealistic, but it's like incorrect. Or
yeah. It's not in line with reality. Like if I'm a boy and I'm hooking up with a girl and she's giving me a blowjob and she's like, and all excited about it, and then I actually hook up with a real girl and that's not the experience. It's like, wait, why is this not? I don't understand.
Yeah. Like also, I don't know, a lot of chicks who are like, God, I can't wait to blow.
Unrealistic expectations about what a person's body is supposed to look like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of porn is like computer generated. And so it's not even a fucking real person.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Computer generated. What does that mean?
There's a lot of porn that's like animation.
Oh, like anime stuff.
No, I mean, there's just like, there is a genre of porn that is like computer generated, like animation, but it looks like real people.
But there's like even the real people porn though, like the bodies.
Right.
I mean, everyone is fucking thin, whatever. But
and like has G-sized boobs, and then it's like a 13-year-old boy, and he's like, wait, why did none of the girls look like that around me?
Correct.
Okay, so that's like another part of the problem. I think what really scares me.
Wait, pause real quick.
Go.
And when you're that little, like the wind could blow and you have an erection.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like if they happen to get an erection while watching something like that, then they're going to associate, oh, well, I guess that is what turns me on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And so they start connecting like this physical reaction to whatever. Like, boy, what is it called when they like get hard in class? Isn't that called something? It's like, isn't that called something? They would say something like back in the day.
Morning, but I don't know what that is.
Morning wood. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, they associate like, oh, well, I got my body's responding to this like girl who's getting like choked out. I guess that's what I'm into.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why my dick's hard or whatever.
Right.
Anyways, go on.
So that kind of plays into like the rabbit holes. The rabbit holes are so scary.
Yeah,
you know, that like So you watch one video of someone being choked, and then you're like kind of intrigued by it, and then all of a sudden, like every video you're fed is people being choked.
Yeah.
Okay, and like they are now starting to like put out studies saying that like it does actually end up predicting behavior. You know, like the more content you're fed of aggressive sexual content, the more aggressive you're going to end up being in sex, right? And then there's this like...
That's like exposure. That's exposure. That's behavior, period.
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
And so like it's like if you grow up in a house with like a dad whose parents are really sweet to each other, then you're more likely to know, like, to interact with somebody that way.
Right.
And
so
it's
like if you had never seen someone being choked in porn, you probably would never end up choking someone, right? During sex.
Yeah.
There's some research that's super scary about child predators and how like people, like random people who were fed child pornography content, like over time end up actually offending. Like much higher rate of actually offending. And a lot of times they accidentally get into the child porn. It's not like they're looking for it. They fall into it.
Well,
right?
because there's also like there's like a stepbrother, like a stepsister.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like whatever. All of that step family weird, like that's a thing.
Yeah.
And so then if like let's say you do have like an 11-year-old boy who like is defiant and like getting in trouble and whatever, and then like he does get aroused by this weird like step whatever video. Yeah. And then like I don't know, like that probably does increase the risk of acting that out in reality or whatever.
I would love to see if I was trying to look for statistics on like has the incidence of sexual assault increased over time, which is probably hard to measure because like awareness has also increased and like reporting has increased. But
you look at like Law and Order SVU. I mean, I know it's a fucking show, but like it. So what was your original statement that you just said?
Like I want to see if there are statistics on like has the incidence of sexual assault increased over this period of time. I'm sure it has. I mean, I can say anecdotally, like the number of college girls that have told me they've been raped is like unbelievable. It's like almost every single college girl I see has been sexually assaulted. And I'm like, how is this fucking possible?
Like thinking about it back then, like people didn't talk about it like 15 years ago.
But I'm even talking about not like I was wasted, he was wasted, I don't remember. No, I'm talking about like girl, who have been saying no,
are they reporting
and they're being held down. Yeah, they are reporting it. But I was like, damn, like maybe I was sheltered, but like I don't remember that being that common. When I don't know that college.
It was. I probably was, and people not talking about it.
Maybe I don't know, but I would love to see some kind of statistic on that. Like, has that increased because people are seeing more physical aggression during sex on a frequent basis via porn? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't a thing when we were in college.
What?
Like, I think this. I actually don't know when was Pornhub and YouPorn invented.
Matt,
you should Google that. Pornhub was launched in 2007. This is actually really funny. When I bought my house, they had an estate sale.
And they had like VHS.
I mean, he had a box of porn VHS.
Oh, I forgot about the adult stores.
Yeah. I mean, that was a thing. Right. But like, how accessible, right? Like,
no,
you had to be an adult.
Like, you don't want to like be seen.
Well,
like
you had to be an adult to go in those stores.
11-year-olds
couldn't go in there.
Well, no, you're right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like, you know, porn has been around for a very long time, but it was not accessible to kids.
No,
or it was like extremely difficult to access it.
And like, and like this rape thing, like if let's say they're exposed younger to like more violent sexual acts, and then they're in college. And like, didn't you find a stat about like erectile dysfunction in college dudes?
I couldn't find anything about that, but I can tell you that's another thing. Like anecdotally, the number of college boys and I'm like shocked that they're so honest with me, but they're very honest with me for some reason.
Because they don't want to be dysfunctional down there.
Yeah, that have told me like they have erectile dysfunction.
Because they don't get turned on by normal sex?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. And
I wonder why. What did they say?
So I try to approach it with like open-ended questions and like I'm not telling you anything, right? Because I want them to make the realization themselves, right? But most of them ended up stopping watching porn.
Oh.
And it got better.
Oh, good.
And it's like, that is so sad. Like a 19-year-old having erectile dysfunction.
Yeah. And like they obviously like didn't even really know what intimacy was. Or
it's just like they can't get turned on by the real thing because it never matches up to the porn.
That's what it is.
If you're watching porn all the time, right? And it's exactly the kind of sex that you want, right? And it's exactly the kind of body type that you want.
Yeah.
Then like the real thing will never match up to that.
And that's not intimacy either. Like
no.
Yeah.
Well, it's just not like real human life.
No, it's not real human life at all. No, you're right. Okay. So as it relates to this younger population and accessibility, what can we, so like we're also like not saying, like it's developmentally appropriate to masturbate.
100%.
Girls and boys.
Yes,
girls masturbate
both.
to people.
Yes.
And it's all developmentally appropriate.
100%.
And like let's kick it old school and like flick on some imagination in the brain. Like I'm not saying like go buy them a naked girl poster, but I'm just saying like let them have imagination.
Yeah.
I forgot to do this, but like surely on Netflix, you can put like parameters or like something like parental controls on like.
I think you can. I don't know if they work.
Right.
You know?
So, okay. Then it's like they can't, any screen needs to be supervised.
Yeah.
At all times by parents.
Yeah.
Is that like.
And I'm like, I know that I'm saying this with young kids,
yeah,
right?
Same,
so like I have a lot of power in being able to restrict what they say.
Yeah.
You know, when they get to teenage age and they know more about technology than you do.
Yeah.
It is hard to, but I think it's more like parents need to be aware.
Okay. Didn't we talk about like there are signs? I feel like there were signs of, porn? There was, okay. What I remember in my head is like, if they're like if like frequency of them going to their room is higher with like a locked door and a device.
Yeah.
If they like slam the screen down when you're like in a proximity.
Yeah.
If shit.
Well, and you can look at your kid's browser history.
Yeah, you can.
You
They're
know?
probably deleting that.
They're probably deleting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're deleting
They
that.
know all the ways around it.
Yeah, but
I mean, I would say to me, it's like parents need to be aware of how common this is. They need to be aware of how easily their kids can access it. They need to be aware of like what their kids can access.
Yeah.
And even though it's a hard conversation, like they have to talk to kids. You got to talk to your kids about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like just like you would talk to them about alcohol and drugs and like
dangers of porn.
Using a condom and whatever. Like you got to talk about that too.
Yeah.
And
you can preface it like this is going to be awkward, Stevie.
Yeah.
Like listen up. All the porn out there, like that's not like real life.
Yeah.
Like your little pickle may get tickled, but like that is not.
Yeah. And it's like talking to them about like, do you, like, you know, what do you want your relationships with like whoever they
you're
prefer
attracted
to be like in the future? Like, do you want to feel like you can be with someone and feel happy and like feel
fulfilled.
like y'all connect and fulfilled? Yeah. Or do you want to feel like it's always missing something, you know? And I mean,
I feel like that's like multi-layered, but yeah.
It is, but I think you have to give them a reason why it's a problem.
Yeah, and also it could be like preventative. Like, I wonder if surely there are professionals. Like, I mean, I know there's sex therapists out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it could be like parents doing some research in like their community to like shove your kid in not therapy, but like go send them to a counselor for 2 or 3 sessions just to get educated about porn.
Yeah.
And effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like doing just like, I mean, so you don't have to do it. And let like a professional be like, yo, like here are all the things that are unrealistic that are going to like influence like your outlook on romance and whatever. And I don't know, all that
or
stuff.
Like another thing that we know is really effective is peer groups. You know, where they like set up peer groups to
talk about porn.
Yeah. That's like for teenagers, that's like one of the most effective ways for them to actually like learn information. They receive information and like will make changes much easier when they're with peers rather than
Are
with
they
an
going to
adult.
talk about like porn habits with their peers?
I mean, it's awkward, but kids, I mean, they do
all
it
right.
with a lot of
that's
stuff,
cool
you know?
too. I mean, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, it does need to be talked about.
Someone has to talk about
Yeah.
it. No one's talking about it. That's
Yeah.
kind of the moral of the story. Nobody's
Yeah.
talking about it. I think everyone kind of has their head in the sand with it, and it's like uncomfortable and awkward. So
Yeah.
it's like, let's just avoid that conversation.
Yeah.
But it's
a
causing a
lot
lot
of
of
damage.
problems.
Yeah.
Like a lot of problems.
Yeah. And like if your kid is getting like a distorted image of what sex is, a relationship is, like what turns them on. And like if they're watching like real bondage shit and it turns them on, I guarantee they're not sitting there like, whatever. They're like, they're probably questioning and like themselves and being what am I trying to say?
There
Like,
was actually a statistic, and I wish I had written it down, about the percent of kids that have shame and guilt after they watch porn, and it was really high. It was like almost 70%.
Yeah, and so then that starts fucking with like their identity, and then they start like that.
And
it's
like,
just
what's wrong with me?
Yeah, and it's just another like added layer that doesn't need to be in there at that age, like right now, because they're already dealing with so much other shit. Anyways, we can probably. We'll look up some like resources and see like, I don't know if there's any literature or like people like providers or like kind of like professional developments or something, just something for parents to have to feel a little bit more like
they have tools
grounded.
in the toolbox.
Yeah, tools in the toolbox. And like, I don't know, like if there are therapists out there, we'll look and see like where most of our listeners are and like see if there are providers in the area that like do like this kind of like porn education for kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, but like more on this later.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked to lots of kids about it, so feel free to come my way.
I haven't, and I'm awkward. I never have to. Yeah, you should do it.
I mean, I've had I for some reason, I don't know why.
You should
these
do
boys
like a
open
webinar.
up to me about this stuff, and
you
it's
should do a webinar.
Uncomfortable as fuck on my end, but I try to act like I'm not uncomfortable talking about it.
I wonder if school, like, I bet if you did like a webinar or like anyone, whatever, and like get like went to a school and offered it, and then school offered it to parents and like with a consent and whatever.
Maybe that's my next, because I do the social media one. I'm gonna do a porn one.
Do a porn one. And like maybe like kids have to sit and watch the webinar though. Like make like a parent one
and a kid
and
one.
then the parents have to consent for their kids to participate in a webinar about porn.
Okay.
With like a survey after. Or like a quiz after.
Great idea.
Yeah. Okay.
We could do like a little anonymous for the survey for the kids, like gathering data, like how many of them are watching porn, what kind of porn is it?
I love
and then show it to the parents and be like,
what is that
here's
called?
what's
What is that shit called in your world? Study? Trial, clinical trial?
No, that would just be a survey.
Survey.
Yeah.
All right. Well, survey.
Yeah. It's less exciting sounding.
Okay. Survey. All right. Well, people,
go have fun watching porn this weekend.
Yeah. You have to show your license in Louisiana.
Oh, yeah. I know, which I fully support.
Yeah.
Fully support it. Sorry, Mac. Mac's not happy. Don't care. Hashtag don't care.
Hashtag don't care. LOL. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Little Brain Campaign.
Please like, subscribe, and follow.
See you next time.